Hello, Catherine, and welcome to your synastry reading. I went to turn the volume up and then that popped up. Please just ignore that. So first and foremost, thank you for your patience. I am getting rid of this panel thing up here because I hate it so much. And I'm going to make this bigger so we can dive into this thing here, which is manifestation of both of your energetic fields. So let me explain it in this really cool way because this makes me happy. So we are like human radio receivers. Our bodies work to push out a frequency and also to take in a frequency, right? Like sort of kind of when somebody's lying to you and there's like no evidence, but you can feel it. It's because your radio is picking up on the lie that is coming out of them, so to speak. That is how our bodies work together in general. And these charts are actually explanations of how our energy goes out and how we affect other people. And you can especially see this when you put both sets of energies together, like what we're doing today. So we're going to be seeing the past life connection, the way that you guys trigger each other now, what is the purpose of the relationship, and just the general understanding of how your radios are picking up each other, and then the why of why your radios are working this way with this chart here, which is called the composite chart. And I've added both of these in the email just in case you need to follow along closer as I'm going through this, just so you know. We're going to start with your chart, which is on the inside. And then we have Dustin's chart here on the outside. And this will go the same way for your other reading as well. So I am going to start with your ascendant area. The ascendant is your sense of self. This is everything that affects you physically, your ego, your identity, your body, the character that you are playing in this life, right? So for you, everything about this dude, it's not everything, but you know, this is a stellium in your first house. So a lot of the things about him, the way he acts about you emotionally, affects the way that you feel about yourself. I'd imagine that this person would be quite charming or naturally attracted to, like off top, you, like there'd be a spark. But then his Saturn is here. So there's a problem with him expressing his emotions in relationships. So that's rough for him because he can only feel it inside. That's what this R, this retrograde is. There's something about his relationship with a mom that makes him have a pause when it comes to relationships with other people, but he sees that in you, or he feels that relationship energy with you. And we have Palace, which is his unique genius, the way his mind works, right? And his Mars, which is his actual like sex drive, because he's a guy. So first and foremost, this guy flirts through like fighting, and that's just really interesting. But look, it's all right next to what you need to feel nurtured and how you nurture other people. Uh, Even though they're in two different signs, because you see his stuff is in Libra and yours is in Virgo, you understand what he needs to heal. I guess his issues with his, I don't want to say his sexuality because it's not issues with the sexuality per se, but his sexuality in relationships, in being in a relationship, his drive, like he wants to, but there's always some blockage there because of the Saturn. It's like he was held off from being in the relationships that he really wanted to be in until after like 30, like 33, 32 is what I'm feeling here. So the next thing about this is all affecting your ego, your identity, everything about the way his energy, the way he hunts you. That's definitely the term that I'm feeling here. The way that he pursues you, because it's mental here. It's in his third house of communication. It's through words and wooing. It feels like affects how you feel about your identity, your personal feelings about like your body is what's coming up. Your beauty even, and maybe you even might reconsider the way that you want to approach partnerships because of the restrictions or the emotional, it is definitely emotional restrictions that Dustin has. Now, since you have me looking at two charts, I could see that maybe there might be an issue there, but we'll get into that after you're able to look over multiple. Because the next part we have here is his Pluto, which is his power, his sort of stalker area in the chart. And that's for everybody. Everybody's Pluto is where they're sort of a stalker, right? But also their power, their ability to change, right? For him, once again, is retrograde. He feels his stuff inside, his draw to partnership. Like he feels like he is not, I don't want to say not whole, but a lot of it is like he just feels like he needs a buddy. Like he's always meant to have another half here. This is directly next to your South Node. You see that same degree. This means this person used to, I don't want to say used to be a stalker, but that's what came up. I'm just going to go with what is coming because I'm channeling while I'm doing this. My radio receiver is picking up things from your energy that you would like to know. So this person used to be your partner. automatically there because your South Node is in Libra in their third house. This person could have even been your sibling in one life. This could have been your brother husband, even, if you will. But there were power struggles, and that's what you guys are fixing in this life. As you can see, your North Node, which is where you're heading, is more close to his Venus, which is developing love. And the funny thing is, Venus is the ruler of this Libra energy. So y'all are leaving power struggles behind. But this might mean that you feel very triggered by each other with this going on here because it's old energies that are coming up. Do you feel controlled? Because that could also be the case here. Financially controlling is what it appears that used to be the issue. Next, we have your Pluto, which actually is at home in Scorpio. But next is Jupiter. So something about the way that you wield your sexual power, your process, your ability to get assets, which is the same thing as his Pluto, just different sign, affects the way he expands inside, particularly in the area of family. So that's important that you change his family dynamic and who he is at the core. His Jupiter is retrograde. Whatever this guy did last life, like he took hella L's. Retrogrades are karmic, right? Look at this. He has retrograde Jupiter, retrograde Ceres, which I've never freaking seen, retrograde Uranus, retrograde Neptune, retrograde Juno. Look up here, retrograde Mercury. Like this, like his chart alone is amazing. He needs a reading. But whatever he did, he earned a lot of things that are forced, like his radio bounces the energy back to him. He feels it inside instead of pushing it out there on other people. So there's a lot going on inside of him. I feel like that's important for you to know. But you expand the way that he feels about his sexuality at home. Like whatever you're doing in that bedroom, I don't want to say turning him out, but essentially that's sort of what it is. And this can be in regards to how he learns how to gain financial wealth for himself, because it can be real estate, taxes, but it can also be him expanding past traumas from beforehand with this going on here. It also means that in some way he comes off as a father figure because Jupiter is the daddy of the chart. So when your powers combine, like you're definitely expanding. This could also mean your person is expanding yours as well, but he feels it mostly inside. So just know that there are some things that you're doing that is blowing this person's mind. So next we have his series, which is what he needs to feel cared for and what he gives out caring. All of this stuff is hitting you in your second house of values, by the way that you gain money for yourself or create the life that you want based upon your value system, like what you believe in, right? So maybe he's backing you up in regards to what you want to do for your vision for your life. Could be the case, how you want to earn money. But what he needs, because it's like internal, is to heal from the trauma that happened during his childhood. It looks like a lot of secrets, a lot of wounds. Poverty even could be the case here. It was just really a difficult family to grow up in, where he felt very repressed, if you will. And that's what he needs for caring. He needs somebody to understand his darkness, but it's also he's able to understand other people's darkness is sort of his gift, which is very interesting, because I guess sometimes you need somebody to be able to understand your unique backstory without judgment. And that's this guy is good in no judgment. So over here we have Uranus, which is the planet of radical change, quick changes. And for you, it hits your soulmate marker. So it means that your connection would have been instantaneous, because it's also hitting your Saturn. Your Saturn, which you have in retrograde, you did something too. In my head, retrograde is always redo. You had to do this again because you failed last time. So your contract, and look, the contract is in the third house, where you have so many planets with him, and his contract is in the third house. So this is about communication, guys. You must have failed at communication. So you guys broke up or something. And we're going to get to the past life part. But as of right now, like you failed as communication as siblings, you failed it as a partnership. This is also the house of like husband and wife too. So yeah, I'm definitely going to say that. So this time you guys are soulmates, and you were meant to hit it off quicker this time because you had a contract together, just so you didn't have to waste all that time getting to know. And you know, those things, like normal people, they don't have like instant feelings they have to build. You guys should have felt an instant pull to one another with this here. So your Uranus retrograde, um, your radical change is pinging off of, let's see, the karmic family, because the vertex is the event that has to happen, right? A thing. For him, it's a child. Do y'all already have a child together? If not, I'd definitely look out for that, because he is meant to have some sort of karmic child That has to do with his karma. It's like a child that has to come into life because it used to be your child. Like it seems like you guys asked to have your family back. You want what you had before, just as a request after you guys cleared your lessons, right? Um, but that's what you ping. Once again, that would be something that would be on your radar to look out for. Things would go very fast in this relationship for you guys as you excel forward. Now, his Lilith, which is his dark feminine energy, or the part of the female he is afraid of, a type of female he's afraid of, which is a woman who's very free and doesn't want to settle down, which makes sense because he has so much stuff that he just needs a partner for. Like, this is a husband here. That's what he feels like, husband energy. So this is next to, no, that's not even next to your Neptune. No, I'm about to check because this is two separate sides. I like to look at degrees. So your Lilith is, or his Lilith, sorry, is 27 degrees Sagittarius. And I am seeing where your Neptune is. Neptune for you is 3 degrees. Nope, that actually affects it. So maybe you did not want to settle down, because remember last time the problem was language for you guys, language barriers. And that's just love. It could be love language barriers. But in this case, karmically, there is something about you being so independent that triggers this for him. Like you have so much going on for yourself. Sometimes he might be triggered that you might like go away. Like, oh, she has everything she needs. She doesn't need me. But that goes back to like his family stuff, the core, the feelings he has about himself, right? Feeling like you're going to leave as soon as you get some money. So just keep that in mind, that sometimes he's triggered by your success, if you will, just because he's afraid you'll leave again. Maybe that's what happened in the last life. We're gonna get to that when we get to this next North Node point, which I can see over here. Ooh, I see it. It's good. Okay. All right. So his soulmate marker, his Juno, is in Capricorn. This means he wants somebody who wants a family, who wants to settle down, who wants to build for the future, which is right next to your Neptune. Because once again, this chart, it seems like your radios were making sure that when you guys got near each other, that you started trying to make it happen, that y'all jumped right back in where you left off because you wanted to be with each other in this life in some way, shape, or form to fix what happened in the other lives. Like this is a part of the karma that you guys have, which leads to this South Node, his South Node, where he's coming from. It appears, my dear, in a very interesting twist of fate, you were the male last time, and you probably did leave him when you got money. Yes, cruel, cruel. But you were an authority figure over him last time. Very disciplinary. Like, imagine a housewife and you're the husband with the money, and you get so fed up with your housewife that you just leave, and then you leave them high and dry. That would be why Dustin has all these regrets from last life, because he put all his life into being a partner, right? Oh shit, this is good. All his life into being a partner, and then had nothing left for himself. So the beginning of this life, he was supposed to be building something for himself so he could feel more secure when he came into a relationship. Otherwise, everything about you would have triggered the past life where he was the wife and you were the husband, and you were like a total POS because you made all the money. Because that's what this is. Absolutely. So be careful with those patterns and those ripples there. Once again, power struggles. So over here, we have your vertex, which is that karmic event I was talking about. But for you, it lands in his seventh house of partnership, marriage, contracts. Do with that what you will, because these overlays matter too. That's what overlays are. When you have where your planets fall into somebody else's houses, there's a specific energy that happens there. And that's the energy that's getting ignited here. Friends that turn into lovers, friends that turn into partners. So your Jupiter, which is retrograde, oh my goodness, that means you feel your growth inside. It's in this person's eighth house. This means, once again, another thing about healing sexually, healing spiritually in this case. This is a very, like you guys have a telepathic connection, especially when you're in the act. Yeah, but also you'd be able to help this person's assets. It seems like they lose a lot due to their, I don't want to say family, but they lose a lot. Like they don't get their inheritances like they should. Money just flows through their hands. Sometimes they have a lot of money, sometimes they don't, but you help to bring some stability, some luck, some growth in that area. And you feel the growth internally in your day-to-day life here. So this is a highly passionate Relationship, let me say that. If you feel this this daily energy, that's what this is. The sixth house is the house of things that you're going to feel on a day-to-day basis, and you will be feeling the power of his eighth house and that Pluto that we talked about earlier. Oh, I hope this is as amusing to you as it is to me. So now we have the North Node, the stuff we're moving towards, right? You are helping Dustin rediscover his beliefs in self. That's what you got routed to this life. Being somebody that shows him how to be his truest self, because it seems like a lot of times that was sort of taken from him in lots of ways. This Venus, right? Oh, this is making me emotional. Damn it. Because I can't control when I'm streaming, streaming in your chart and when I'm not. But Venus and Moon means that you guys definitely had a past life relationship. This is karmic, and karmic can be good or bad. You make what you want of it. But in this case, you are adding value to him for him to do what he needs to in his career. Because this person came to be wealthy. This person came to make a name for herself. It's like you're making up for the life that you weren't the husband you should have been by being like the wife, girlfriend you should have been, just encouraging this person to be the best they can in their career. Because for him, his wound is in self, value of self, especially in regards to work and career. Now, for you, this energy of his wound that he's meant to heal to help other people is in your ninth house, in your belief house, right? But it means that you teach him things in a way that he can understand. Like you break down very difficult concepts in a easy way that he can understand and apply to himself. So anything you learn about spirituality or any of this stuff, you can explain to him in a way that he's able to transmute that and overcome this wound that stops him from going after what he wants to really do in his career, um, and to earn his sense of self. So over here, this is a very sweet chart, by the way. You see trash, you see great relationships, but no, I haven't seen sweet yet. It's really that Venus and Moon is just like a lot of passion and a lot of sweetness, but then there's a lot of past life stuff that you guys probably don't even understand that is being triggered right now. Past life and childhood, because keep in mind, your past life, right, is reflected in the first 12 years of this life. They really got us going here. So this Mercury and Sun, right? In Gemini in your ninth house. He is also teaching you. This is a teacher-student relationship. This is a friendship, more importantly. But your Lilith, which is your dark feminine energy, actually sort of excites his son in his mind. Like you cause him to think. Maybe you belong to a friend group of thinkers, or he belongs to a friend group of thinkers, but your favorite thing to do is think and learn and stuff. And that just sort of works out because that's exactly what it is. He's a guy that likes to talk, to speak, to be known for his mind, because a lot of his thoughts he keeps inside. But something about you and your weird thoughts, because that's what this would be. Your Chiron is that wound you have to come, and that Lilith is that dark feminine energy. A lot of times your words offend people, and it's not because you're saying anything offensive. It's just some people aren't ready for that level of intelligence or honesty. Don't hold that back, sis, because he loves it. It works for him, although, sometimes it can be a challenge because communication for you guys, and Gemini is the communication thing, all that third house energy. But the things that you are speaking about actually have been accomplished through experience. So that will really help you understand how things play out. And you can say, well, from my experience, as opposed to from just what I read, which is great because a lot of times there'll be things that he just read about that he needs to know about. So it's complementary, even though sometimes there will be some friction. It's for growth. I think that's the best way to say it. It's for growth, to see other people's viewpoints. So we have this North Node in 12th over here, which means that, that's so cute. I didn't even notice that at first. This is Dustin's North Node in 12th. He came into this life to get his family back. Literally, the karmic family, the family that he lost last time. Oh my goodness, this is making me so emotional because it's like a fucking Notebook, but like if that couple died and came back again. So, all right, this goes into your family house. But so one day you are meant to be known for your family, for your home, for what you do with home. If you build homes, if you decorate homes, if you make stuff for kids, if you create clothing, any of that stuff in your career, this guy is meant to be known as a part of your life. That's important to mention. Over here we have, oh my goodness, you guys have so much of the same stuff. Like, look at your sun, right? And your Mercury, his sun and his retrograde Mercury, like you gave me two charts to do, but I don't know if anybody can beat what's going on here with Dustin. We'll see. So your sun and your Mercury, which is the way your mind works, which you feel internally, right? Are in his 12th house. This is karmic as fuck. You used to be is well, you're queen now, but you used to be the king of his castle. You used to lead, because this is the ascendant point. You used to lead this person's life. And in this life, you're going to be shedding light on all the parts of his self that he has not been able to be in contact with before now. That keeps coming up very, very heavily. It's like everything on this chart comes in a triplicity. Ooh, I said that right on the first time. But there are three ways that everything happens on this chart just to make sure the energy really sticks in there. And what I'm seeing here is passion, sweetness, and then finding self within one another is what's going on here. Even over here, oh my goodness, you have your Venus and your palace, which is your unique genius. Venus is how you love in his second house. The second house is of his self-value. And with it being in the sign of Virgo, that's healing. You're healing his sense of self so that he can do what he needs to do in his day-to-day life as a business person to earn wealth, because he definitely came to be wealthy. When you have Venus in 10th, you are going to be known for the amount of money that you make doing what it is you do. Is this dude an artist? What is he? Whatever it is, he's meant to be really good at it. And you're fueling that to make up for the life where you weren't supportive of your spouse. So this composite is going to tell us how this all comes together, right? Ooh, I'm excited about this. So let's get started. The ascendant in the composite, and I guess I first need to explain. Your composite chart is like the energy from the days you guys met. Like if you had a baby that day, this would be that baby's chart. It's the natal chart for the relationship. I'm drinking tea during this. It's keeping me hyped. Sorry. So with your ascendant, the path you guys are taking in Virgo, this is about healing, which makes sense because you guys had so much past life karma, which is interesting because right across from this Virgo energy is Pisces, which is the energy that is the ruler of the 12th house. So this is karmic. This is the energy of balancing out things between each other. Your unique genius is in the first house, which means you understand usually what you guys need to heal or what the miscommunication is. And keep in mind, this energy is referring to both of you, how both of you feel when you're next to each other. Your unique genius, the way that you guys put together connections through words, through healings, through health, nutrition, and fitness on a day-to-day basis is the strength in your character here. With this Virgo being the rising, yeah, healing, being in each other's life on a day-to-day basis is the goal here. Working together to heal. Communication is definitely, because right here we have your second house of the values you guys have together. This is meticulousness, but then here we go, partnership, and what you guys need to heal, not heal, but you guys focus on for nurturing is this partnership, is the friendship in your partnership, is spirituality. And by that, I mean like merging into each other, like things like tantric sex. And you're probably going to have some Kundalini rising going on with this energy here, because it's about healing your values, but also inspiration, inspiring one another in your career fields. It really feels like one of you might be an artist with this going on here. With your Pluto at 29 degrees, this is a final level. This is a test in how you guys wield your power as a couple, because in other lives you have been well known, you have been famous, and you did not wield your power so well, which is why you were back here again with the R, redo. Also, we have your Saturn here, which is the contract you took, which is in communications, which is to heal that. Redo once again. Saturn and Scorpio, y'all are redoing the facetious. I hope that's the right word. It just sounded like it. All the shady stuff that happened. This is between siblings, between family members. You're handling your like heavy old royal family karma here. Like y'all were a royal, you know what those royals be doing. That's what you guys are clearing up. Like this feels very period piece, your relationship. And your drive is in, I immediately wanted to say being nasty because this is sexual energy, but your drive is in, guys. Being flirtatious with one another, that's sexual energy, that's sexual experience, experimentation. But also you guys like making money together. Like expanding your assets, researching stuff will be really good for you guys. You guys will watch murder documentaries together. documentaries on how to flip your money, all that sort of stuff. Like this is a very exploratory relationship. But this Pluto at 29th degree of Libra means you guys are trying to transform your relationship at the very final degree. You are trying to merge into one. This is a couple that is trying to ascend. Now I say that again because here we go. Your South Node is in the fourth house. The fourth house is the subterranean in Hellenistic astrology, like Earth, right? Like the underworld, because technically we're under heaven. This 10th house is going back up to heaven. You guys are trying to ascend this life. You're trying to move somewhere far away from where you guys actually grew up, like starting a new life in a new country, possibly because of this Uranus, which is radical change. Juno, which is the soulmate marker at home. Oh my gosh, your home is going to be so cute. Y'all are going to travel so much. And then here we have another 29th degree. This is in your Neptune. This is in karmic family because it's in the fourth house of being a family of travelers, a family that lives in a foreign land. I think you guys are meant to go back to wherever you were royal at one point or start your own kingdom somewhere else. Absolutely. Because look, here we have Jupiter, which is your growth and your expansion, which is in Capricorn in your business in the fifth house of self-expression. So business as a self-expression somewhere in a foreign land, because Jupiter is the ruler of foreign lands. And Sagittarius is in your fourth house. When you have Sagittarius in your fourth house, you live somewhere exotic, typically, somewhere where you're not usually from, right? But this Capricorn energy or this fifth house, let me say that right. Capricorn energy owns your legacy, what you're doing for your work, right? This fifth house is ruled by Leo. Your Leo is in the 12th house. It's the 12th house of foreign lands and foreign travel. You guys are going to have a business that allows you to travel because you're making so much money, and then you're probably going to reside somewhere that is abroad. Here we go again with that vertex. You guys have a karmic child, and this child is meant to carry on your business. Y'all are taking what y'all do as a hobby and turning it into something with this energy here. Now, the sixth house is what you're meant to be doing on a day-to-day life, in your day-to-day life to keep balanced. For you guys, it's a little bit of creativity and isolation, working on that. But then hanging out with friends, networking, being friends, looking up stuff, working with technology. And then this transcendental area over here, meditation, being by water, helping other people. And that is what this relationship is about. With this seventh house in Pisces, you are merging into one another. And over here, beware of this Lilith, which is emotional manipulation because of codependency. Because you guys get so used to being each other's best friend and just want to do everything together. Sometimes you exclude other people, or y'all get so entwined with one another that it triggers suffocation, if you will. Now, this Pisces energy of the karma, as I like to say, it's just where everything gets spilled out from karmic. If you see Pisces or Neptune somewhere, that's somewhere that your karma has spilled out into the eighth house, which means that you guys are going to be merging energy sexually, like you'll be able to know what each other needs in the bedroom. But then also over here with these Aries, there's a little bit of kink. So y'all will be playing switch, dom and sub sometimes. Y'all like to change it up. But it's also very sweet all the time. You guys are very passionate. Like your sex life helps define who you are, and it helps to heal. Like you are healing through sex. So over here we have the ninth house of your belief system. See, there are no planets, but don't worry about no planets. That just means you guys have already done this before, just like the eighth house, and you're just focusing on the energy there. Your belief system as a couple is developed through what you experience together, and y'all find easy ways to teach that to other people, which earn you money, which leads to your MC, your idea of heaven on earth, the peak of your career here, which is what you guys are coming to do in this life. I must mention, this is the house of fame. This is the house of reputation. You have already been famous in other lives. And in this life, you are meant to be taking all that stuff that you guys do privately and sharing it about your family, about what you do at home, about how you make money from home. It could be the case here. But coming into the 10th house in Gemini, you are sharing something, teaching, thinking, speaking, writing. And the wound you're meant to overcome to help other people is in not using your words. This is the first most direct way that I was able to see that wounds was in the speaking that you guys have, or the communication that you have as a couple. That Chiron is a tear, like a fear of being seen in public. It appears that when you guys were famous or royal or whatever, like y'all weren't that liked. Think about like Cersei, Game of Thrones energy. Like you were royal, couldn't nobody take your spot, but something about the way that you treated people in that life was hella karmic, which is why now you're being catapulted back up into your position. You'll be able to be back where you were again, but keep in mind that the way you talk to people, the way that you share information may trigger sometimes, but that's what you're meant to overcome, right? Now to the biggest house. This 11th house. This is the house of the internet, the collective. If you had fans, this would be the house of fans, your soul tribe, the people that you're helping, right? Your sun, which is your identity as a couple, your Venus, how you earn money as a couple, your moon, how you emotionally connect as a couple, and Mercury, how your mind works as a couple. This is a stellium, a concentration of energy in Cancer. This is big mom and dad energy for a group of people. Like people are going to look up to your family, look up to you guys as a couple, as gurus, people who experience something and share with other people with this going on here, but definitely something online, something that shares your unique creativity as a couple, whatever y'all are doing at home, whatever those are ideas, those business ideas you guys have, do them all because this is it, and put them online, share it if you've got to that point. So last but not least is this Leo energy, the things that could be your undoing, pride, which seems like it was really the issue last time, more so on your end, but then a lack of pride on his end. So I guess maybe it's both your fault. And this life is supposed to be watered down so you come to a good medium, but then also being over perfect, analysis paralysis, thinking too much without just doing. And these are things that you will both help each other with, just as a general. But self-esteem and communication, those are the things I want you to take with you after you watch this reading. Remember, how you feel about yourself reflects through your partner and vice versa. So heal within to heal without. Thank you so much, Catherine. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will have the other one to you mañana because this is a lot to take in.